Have you sometimes ever came across a moment where you just feel like, I've not accomplished much and the things that I'm trying to do are not really working out, or it's just taking too long, it's too hard and it's too difficult, but then it's like you have the desire to do that, but you never really have the courage to really step out and constantly continue pursuing and following whatever desired goal you have for yourself. Hey, if that's the case, I am in the same page too, There is things that I've always planned out to do. There was things that I've written out to do in the past year, and only half of them were done and most of them were not done, because that's just how life is sometimes. You know what I mean? Just because we write down everything we really want to achieve in life, it doesn't mean that things will go as we have written them down. There'll be different, levels in life. There'll be different pathways that we have to go through, and there's different things that we just have to experience throughout the road of achieving our goals. Just like it is from getting from A to Z, the road, you have to pass through B, you have to pass through C, you have to pass through D, you gotta pass through E and all the other alphabetical letters. And so that's the same way when it comes to goals. Some people set themselves fitness goals, they wanna get healthy. Maybe you're weighing 200 pounds or something like that, or some people just wanna gain weight, that road is extremely a little bit difficult. It requires a lot of discipline, a lot of courage, a lot of consistency, a lot of, determination. You have to get yourself up even when you don't want to, even when your body doesn't want to do that. Those kind of things. Getting to Z is a place where you want to be. But to get to Z, there'll be a lot of things that you're gonna encounter. There'll be a lot of things that you will pass through. There'll be a lot of steps that you have to take in order to get to that desired state. And so that's one thing that I'm learning, even as I talk about setting goals, and you guys have watched my other videos that talk about habits of successful people. It all comes down to changing habits, and changing habits, it all starts with, setting goals. I'm gonna break this habit and I'm gonna replace it with this one. I wanna change this bad habit. Maybe you have a habit of eating out a lot and you're trying to save money. Then you change that habit to start buying food and begin cooking at home. Those are the kind of habits, those little things that we do on a daily basis end up making big changes, even though sometimes we don't really see it in the process, but it kind of takes time. It kind of takes time. The often time that you do something, it kind of becomes natural. It becomes second nature to you because you've done it so often. Think about, when you're driving on the road, you're driving a car, and sometimes even when you're driving, coming from work, really tired, you never really think about, how you even got home, because you're just, it's something that you do so often. Like driving becomes so regular and so normal that you don't have to think about it. So it's those kind of habits, whenever it comes to setting goals and big goals, the easiest way to get there is to only change, the habits that we really do. And I'm learning that myself. Maybe this is something that you really need to imply in your life in the new year. You have a habit, you want to make more money, or you just want to get fit, or you just want to, start up something for yourself. Those kind of things are goals that you can set. And it's not impossible to obtain and to achieve those goals. They will just take time and patience. And so that's one thing that I'm learning myself as well. It took me a long time, even before I started, getting comfortable with running. I love running a lot, and if you know me personally, I just love going out and jogging. I would just go out there, and I'll probably be running most of the time, more than I used to play soccer these days. I just love doing that so often, and it became, I would say, I kind of built the momentum around that, like building a momentum, around your habit. When you build momentum, it becomes easy. And so it's always often hard at the beginning, getting from A and really having that strength, that motivation, that courage to even get in the middle of the journey of your goals is really hard, But once you get in the middle, things begin pushing forward, things begin looking easier because you have maintained and developed that habit. And so I want to encourage you, it's always good to understand that, whatever goals you've set for yourself, always understand that it's possible to obtain them. It just depends on you tracking which habits you have to let go and which habits you have to begin developing. Because when you develop the right habits, it's easier for you to really go and achieve your right goal. But if you have the wrong habits in pursuing your goals, it becomes extremely challenging. That's one thing that I have learned over time, and that's why there's certain things that I don't really eat anymore, and there's certain things that my body doesn't even want anymore, because when you start running and stuff like that, your body kind of begins like resisting certain foods and type of thing, which is true. I've experienced that. People say that. They used to tell me that before, but I didn't believe it. But I kind of seen that, whenever you start training yourself to do different things, of course there'll be habits that will not be fit in your circle. There'll be habits that will not be good for you, and so those habits will be broken and new habits will begin to develop, and so that's just how it is. Bad habits replaced with good habits always make a good change. And so even the habits of reading, for example, instead of me playing video games, guys, I'll tell you one thing, all right? Let's keep this a secret if you're watching. I guess it's not a secret since it's already been watched by so many people. So I used to play a lot of video games back then, I'll say about, 5 years ago when I was in high school. I used to play a lot of FIFA, I love FIFA, guys, just so you know. I loved video games, and FIFA is one of my favorite things to play. But I spent so much time on that Xbox, to the point that it just consumed so much of my time. Even as I think about it today, that Xbox took a lot of my time. But now, I try to, I just cut it off, I just cut it off. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna develop something different. I don't wanna go on that game, because the moment that I touch that controller, things are gonna get bad, and I'll spend 6 hours and it's only gonna feel like it's 2 hours. That's what happens when you're doing something that you desire so much and so often. And so I wanted to share this in this video, guys. Just whenever it comes to your goals and pursuing your goal, it'll make it much easier if you change your habits. And I've changed, my habit. I've broken that, that cycle of playing too much Xbox. Now I try to read a lot more. And even if I'm not reading, of course, I'll try to not go on that very thing that will consume so much of my time, because I didn't want to be spending so much time playing video games by the end of the day, because I found it not to be very beneficial to what I really wanted in life. And so that's something that I just saw to be, like a revelation, I would say. So I'm like, I want to pursue things that really are building me and helping me become better every single day, which is why this channel exists. Honestly, is something that I really want to share, and something that I wanted to be sharing on these videos with you guys, so that I can maybe give you some tips, and some things and ideas that I learned, and maybe some things you already know, and some things that I've already said may be familiar to you already, but for those of you who have not heard them before, maybe you find them helpful. And so that's what I wanted to shoot in this video, of course, and I don't want to make it very long, but I hope this video helped you guys. And of course, habits always are replaced. It's not impossible to break bad habits, and it's also possible to build good ones. And so I hope that this video helped you guys, and as you even develop your goals and go into the new year, I hope that you are developing awesome goals, and that you are looking forward to great things that you have already planned for yourself in the future. And so I hope that this video helped you guys, and I will see you guys in my next video. Be blessed and have peace.